But then the next game.
The next game, you cannot move.
The first game back, you just.
Yeah.
That's
You know what? That's what I'm like on trials.
Yeah.
All adrenaline, all gassed.
What? Should I put this on here? I was like, well, I wasn't sure what it is.
Cheers, Brent. Let us know when we're rolling, Brent. So I'm gonna do is. Oh, you remember the mic this time, yeah?
Hey, bro, it's 4, innit?
We started one time. He's just talking, bro.
It just sounded weird.
And then he just didn't have the mic.
I felt
joking.
I felt naked, bro. All right.
Cheers, Brent.
Thank you. All right, thank you. No worries, man. No worries.
Brent, you are a great guy, man. Cheers.
Okay, man. Let's get this rolling once I find the ad. No, I still haven't learned it. Realize I'm probably never gonna learn it. It is what it is. Get over it. So, today's show is brought to you by OMRG Motors, the vehicle sourcing specialist. Save thousands on your next car purchase with competitive APR rates as low as 9.8%. OMRG Motors are unrivaled by most main dealers. I repeat, most main dealers cannot match their rates. They have a broad lending panel that covers prime to subprime lenders. All that means is that even if your credit is poor as, they still might be able to help you. If your credit score is lower than your IQ, luckily, there's not much to think about. Get in touch. They might still be able to help you. If you've had more CCJs than BJs in your life, get in touch. They might still be able to help you. If you thought good credit was buying a £50 top-up on your pay-as-you-go, then you need to get in touch because OMRG Motors just might be able to get you approved for that motor you've always wanted. They're so confident in their rates that if you find a lower APR elsewhere, they'll match the savings and sort you £250 in cash. Use discount code ONELEAGUE to get £100 cash back on your next car purchase. Rate so low, it'll make you say OMFG. Their socials are at OMRG Motors. Website is all the W's, omrgmotors.co.uk. Now let's get this show rolling.
Let's go. So.
You didn't judge it. That's good.
Hey,
I was just checking. You might have, I don't know, autopilot. You never know.
No. I'm always thinking.
You always thinking?
Always thinking ahead.
All right, cool.
All right, so I want to welcome our guest today, Myles Anderson. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thanks for coming on, man. Like, you know, you're someone that I've been fortunate enough to play with, train with, etc. Still in contact with you. So yeah, man, just happy to have you, man.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Shout out Myles Anderson. I don't know how familiar you are with the format of this show, but we do like to start as we do a bit of our research on guests that we have on. So we start with a segment called Wikipedia, We Ain't Believing You. I say we start with a segment called that, but actually it kind of runs through the whole show.
Yeah, it does.
And all it is, there's information on you, about you on Wikipedia. So we like to have a look through and see what's there and see what it says and all the rest of it and kind of cross-reference what's accurate, because you'll be surprised. There's quite a lot on Wikipedia that's not accurate.
What you got for me then?
Okay, so first thing, I found this interesting. Your dad was a football agent.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Hey. Wait, no.
What are you thinking?
I have a feeling, but he has like he's been a top agent. Like he's like a top agent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's not Jermaine Defoe, is it?
No. What?
But there's a top footballer there's top footballers that he's managed. Like,
there have been a few, yeah.
Oh yeah, who? Okay. First off, like, what's his name and who did he manage and what?
Jerome.
Okay.
Jerome Anderson.
Jerome Anderson.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't that name ring a bell?
It does.
That's what I'm saying.
Jerome Anderson.
Strong name.
Does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still the deal
Check
already.
that one quite
Yeah. So what kind of players? What players did he?
Some of the better ones, I suppose. Well, some great players. I would say the likes of Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh wow!
Ian Wright.
God.
Amazing.
Guys like that. A lot of the Arsenal guys back in the day as well, yeah.
Sick. Okay. What was your perspective on his career? I guess what I'm asking is, at what age were you aware of what Dad did, and yeah, what was it like being in and around it?
I would probably say it was quite normal growing up.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, massive into Arsenal.
Back.
Glad that we're together on that. Went to Highbury to all the home games from about 3 years old onwards. Obviously go with my dad and his friends.
Yeah.
And I think it was quite normal, like be around players, be in the players' lounge after games. Guys come around the house. I think it was only probably when I was about 16, really, when I started doing a bit of work experience, actually,
Yeah.
my dad's company. I started to understand perhaps what it was actually going on here.
Yeah, the magnitude.
the magnitude, yeah.
Of some of the players.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so what did you do for work experience?
I was in the office following my dad around, following some of the staff around, meeting some of the players, things like that, going to meetings, just sitting in on meetings.
Okay.
For example, if they were trying to sign a young player, I would sit in on the meeting and kind of see the way that they would go about it, how it would be structured. The player would be in there with the parents and
Sick.
things like that.
I've got so many questions.
Hey,
So-
bro.
yeah, like my head's spinning. All right, so why didn't you want to take that path yourself then?
It's a great question. I left school. I finished school at 18, did my A-levels, and see most of my mates, they went to uni,
Mm.
and I went straight into working at my dad's company. So I actually did start doing that for work.
Okay.
And playing football at the same time. I think I was at Canvey Island at the time.
Oh, wow.
So yes, I started doing that, but then and I actually signed a couple of players to the agency.
Okay.
Oh, sick.
Some good players who actually went on to have some very, very good careers.
Hey,
as
give us a
well.
name, man.
So,
Um,
yeah, names would be great.
Okay, so he was actually a very good friend of mine. Anyway, we'd played together when we were younger. A guy called Nick Blackman,
Okay.
who ended up going to Blackburn Rovers. He ended up going to Sheffield United,
yeah,
Reading,
okay. I know.
Derby County.
I know the player. Yeah.
Played in Spain. Played for Maccabi Tel Aviv. He had a fantastic career.
That
Nick,
is
yeah.
sick.
So-
You started it.
Well, like I said, we played together when we were about 15, 16. We stayed quite close. And then when I started working at my dad's company, I reached out to him and said, like, what's going on? How's everything going with the football? I think he'd been at Bury. I think he'd left, and I think he was on trial with Blackburn at the time. Paul Ince was the manager. Paul Ince, I think maybe he'd gone from Macclesfield to Blackburn or something like this. And so we caught up, obviously, and I said, would you be open to joining the agency, basically? And I think because he knew me and because I knew
You
my
got
dad,
the deal over the line.
Nick obviously agreed to join the agency, which was really cool.
Sick.
So he went, he had a fantastic career, and still, close with him now, even though I don't see him as much. He lives in Barbados now, but like when you're just close with someone, you don't necessarily have to always speak to them all the time.
Yeah.
He was over in London actually a couple of months back. Met up with him, and but yeah, like brothers, I suppose.
That's amazing.
Right, bro. That's great.
And then was it dad that got you into football as well, like playing football?
Yeah. So, like I say, always taking me to the Arsenal games. I remember, like, at half time, there was where we would sit. So he actually had a box at Arsenal at Highbury, and then we would go to like this indoor bit. Myself and the people in the box and other kids who were like, and other people who were sitting in like the boxes, go to this indoor bit and have like 5-a-side game, at half time or whatever.
That is so
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Which was cool. And I went to soccer school actually as well growing up. Alan Wright Soccer Schools. I don't know if you know the guy.
Alan Wright.
Alan Wright, he was called. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But that was where I kind of
started
playing a lot. It's local to where I was living as well. And that was where I think probably developed like technical ability. And that's where I kind of really had my foundations.
Bro,
Yeah.
you are. He's a technician as well.
Okay.
He is technical.
Okay,
I can vouch.
We'll get it out. Yeah, we'll get onto that because obviously I know the position as well. But I guess what springs to mind as well, you support Arsenal.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact area I saw on Wikipedia, but it wasn't North London, was it?
Westminster.
Where I was.
Yeah, Westminster.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you
I
go.
done my
Wikipedia,
homework, I done my
Yeah,
homework.
Westminster. So yeah, obviously.
You said you weren't the homework guy as
Yeah,
well.
hey, bro, I done my homework.
So Westminster, I mean, okay, I guess Westminster, you could support Arsenal. I kind of get it. It's not like this guy. He supports Liverpool and
You Liverpool.
he lives in London.
Bro, till I die.
Weirdo.
But how can you explain that?
Yeah,
please?
exactly.
Why?
Yeah,
It's
go
not
on.
about- This is not about me.
Explain
No.
that. Go on.
Nah, I've just supported them from a kid. I just like them from a kid.
Weirdo. Gloriana.
We don't win.
Yeah, what he did in the 80s, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, sick. So that's kind of what got you into football. When did you start seeing football? Because obviously you just touched upon there that you went to uni at 18.
No, I didn't go to uni. I finished.
Sorry.
I
No,
did,
he
I
said
did my
his friends went
GCSE,
to
did my
uni.
A levels.
Yeah, so you did A levels, and at 18 you went into working.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the people we had on the show, obviously they've gone on to have like great careers and illustrious non-league careers as well. But by 18, they kind of roughly knew football was something they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So where were you in terms of that? When did you decide that
I think-
actually?
Sorry.
No, perfect, yeah.
I think I always wanted to do it as a kid.
Yeah.
See, I'm growing up around the guys all the time, going to all the games, loved it. Like, yeah, I was always playing in the back guard. Like my dad just put me in goal, smashing balls against me, and you know how they do. he would never go in goal.
Yeah.
But, so I think it was always something. It was always like a dream, you know,
Yeah.
to do. But I think because my parents, my dad had obviously been in the industry.
Yeah.
He had also seen not the success stories,
Okay.
right?
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my parents were big on my education as well.
Yeah.
So that's why, I mean, I was always playing at a decent level at the same time, but I was, in full-time school.
Yeah.
Like I said, GCSEs, A-levels. I had an opportunity actually. So this tournament I actually played with Nick Blackman in when we were 15, Avram Grant, who I think was the manager of Portsmouth at the time, he'd come and saw one of the games and he said I should go down and be part of the under 16s at Portsmouth at the time.
Okay.
And I remember, so it was my GCSE year, and I remember my parents said to the school, like, Myles had been invited to go down. And then I remember getting pulled to the head of sixth form's office,
Mm.
and he was like to me, "What's all this nonsense about you going, going to Portsmouth to football? Like, what's the point? You go to this school, like, that's not going to be your path."
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So you didn't go?
So I didn't go. Yeah, I didn't go.
Hey, shame on that head teacher.
Hey.
Shame on you.
I hope you get hit by this. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess we could have potentially not told them and just, and gone.
Yeah,
but
could have just gone.
wanted to do it the right way. So,
Yeah.
so it was always something that was there. And then, like I said, when I started working for my dad's agency, I would go, as an agent, you're a scout, a consultant, you're going to all these games, under 18s games, 21s games. And I think I just felt like I was good enough
Yeah.
to compete at that level. If that makes sense.
When you
Yeah,
say that
so-
level, which level
I
specifically?
think I was watching like under 18s or like reserve games.
Okay.
I remember thinking like I could actually do this.
Yeah.
And maybe as well at 18 years old to like be an agent. And like I think I was a bit young to do that job.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
take responsibility for people's lives and look after these players. I think I was just like too young for it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I wasn't ready mentally to
Yeah, mature enough.
I wanted to be, with the players. I wanted
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
one of
yeah,
the-
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, I get that.
Also, like, 'cause there's a lot of different kind of perspectives on agents and possibly like skills that it takes to be good at that role. Obviously, just learning now that you were privy to somebody that did it at the top level. What skills did you see that it required to be amazing at that role, and match that with your personality and how you think that fit?
Like you say, I think I obviously saw the highest level type of agent that
Yeah.
you can be. And what I saw from my dad was absolute commitment, dedication, 24/7 available, going around to the boys' houses if they called him at like 3:00 in the morning because they'd had a fight with the missus or whatever.
Wow.
That was he really took pride and really actually cared about the player as a person.
Yeah.
That is what I saw, and obviously, of course, it's a business, and the player earns his living, and the agent obviously earns their living. But I think what I saw with my dad, and when he started as well, obviously the players weren't earning anywhere near the money that the players earn now.
Mm.
But what I saw was that he was like best friends with the player.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like a father figure to the player. So my godfather, God rest his soul, David Rocastle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
he. I think my dad tells me the story that he was brought into my dad's office at like 15, 16 years old by Charlie Nicholas, who was also at Arsenal at the time, and said like, you got to look after this kid. He's going to be like the next big thing and everything. And I think Rocky didn't have that kind of father figure, and then my dad took on that role. So I think it's different to how it is now.
Yeah.
You know, it's very
Yeah.
different. Yeah, I'm sure there are some agents and players that have that close connection, but I think I saw that really growing up. How much my dad genuinely cared,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
wanted the best
For
for the player
For the
and for
person.
the player's
Yeah.
family and for the player as
So
a
do you-
person.
Yeah.
does he still do it now?
I think once you're in football, you're in football.
Yeah.
And he loves it. He loves the game. He comes to like all my games. He loves it. Goes to Arsenal when he can still. And I sometimes go with him as well if I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I think if like opportunities come up or people need his help, like sometimes my mates will say to me, or they'll say to me, "Would you, consider doing the agent thing for me?" Or they'll say, "I know, can I speak to your dad?" Or maybe I can pick his brain for some advice. So I've got some close mates from football who I've had on the phone. I've got them to speak with my dad before about making decisions, or should they go to this club, that club, what should they do with their contracts, things like that. So he's not like in it active,
Yeah.
but he's there
Yeah, he's
as and
still in
when
and
someone
around
needs
it.
some help or
Yeah.
But I didn't even know that was his dad. You know how mad that is?
Yeah,
You know how many
that's-
conversations I've had with this guy? I did
And
not know.
I guess that
I like that though.
that's testament to you, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I guess some people might be screaming and shouting about that and using it as much as they can to get through whatever doors. So I guess that's testament to your character.
Yeah, man.
I think that's amazing. I get the question that springs to mind for me is, so obviously dad's big time agent, worked with some amazing, and not even just the names, but let's talk about the talent of the players. And dad obviously knows his stuff. Does that put pressure on you playing? How do you feel as a player now? You're going into football, something that you've decided you kind of want to do. How does that make you feel as a player?
I think my dad was always a great support. Like I had a great support system always. My dad, my mum, sister, my close friends, from the start of the journey. But it was difficult. It was really quite tough, especially at the start. I found it really, really tough. And then obviously as I've grown as a man and as a player, as I've progressed through my career, like gone over to Italy and
Yeah.
kind of made my own way, I've dealt with that a lot better.
Mm.
But at the start, especially at Blackburn, that was tough.
Mm.
And then I start to develop some kind of belief that I'm only here because of my dad, or
Ah.
that kind of.
So did your dad help with that, with you going to Blackburn?
My dad created an opportunity for me to go on trial,
Yeah.
and obviously I went on trial there.
Yeah.
But I'd been on trial to.
Many
I
clubs.
went on trial. It's in Spain.
Yeah.
2 or 3 teams in Spain. I went on trial in Scotland. 2 or 3 teams. I went on trial. I was everywhere. I went everywhere to.
That must. So that feeling of you've gone on trial to do it and for whatever reason you haven't taken it or it hasn't worked out,
Yeah.
but then going to somewhere like Blackburn and then getting that yes, what does that feel like for you?
It was unbelievable. I mean, it was crazy because initially it was like we can't do it now. So actually, initially it was like, no, we can't do this now. And then afterwards, after a few weeks, it was. Then I went up to Scotland, and went on trial again with Motherwell at the time.
That was off the back of Blackburn.
Which was off the back of that, Craig Brown Blackburn had recommended me to the manager of Motherwell at the time.
Okay.
With Craig Brown again, rest his soul, and Archie Knox, and I got up there, and then they said, "Yeah, I want to sign you." And then about a week later, they actually moved to Aberdeen.
Okay.
So then they took me with them to Aberdeen, but in the meantime, Blackburn said, "Cool, go do that, and then come to us at the end of the season."
Okay.
So they go to Aberdeen for a year,
I went to Aberdeen in January.
and then at the end of the season you're gonna go Blackburn.
And then I went to Blackburn.
That is sick.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Almost like nothing to lose, sort of thing.
Nothing to you go and play, go and be free,
Yeah.
and at the end come back to Blackburn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come home.
There was a club before Blackburn. Am I right? If I remember on Wikipedia, there was a club before Blackburn.
Hey, we ain't
There was a
believing.
few I
Oh,
was
there's a
on
few.
trial with.
What-
I was
what
I
do you
was at
remember
West Ham
Blackburn's?
for about 3 months on trial at one stage. I think Avram Grant was the manager then, and I was training with like the 21s. I think I was 19.
Oh, did he remember you?
Yeah, so that's why he told me come down there. He was the
Oh,
manager
that's sick.
Okay.
He even remembered you.
Yeah, yeah.
That is cold.
Okay, Wikipedia won't believe me. So you were centre back.
there. Centre back, yeah.
When did you realise that?
What?
And was it straight away centre back or?
So I'm gonna say something that everyone's probably said, but when I was younger, what position do you think I played?
You played up front.
Of course, even got like a plaque, like 100 goals for my school team in like 3 years, like all, you know. So I was a striker, prolific striker, left foot. Just give me the ball, let me shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, you got that tech.
That's
though,
you know.
Nah, you got that. You got
Oh,
that.
a lefty. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a lefty. He's a lefty.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
left foot centre
yeah.
back.
Tidy as
right.
well.
Yeah.
but
Tidy.
like as you know, as the years went by, because I think I kind of read the game quite well.
Yeah.
The manager would say, "Oh, we want you to play midfield," or "Oh, now we want you to play at the back as like a sweeper."
Mm.
So I got moved further and further back.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of the players say that kind of happened to them as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Even I started as a striker.
Yeah, loads of people say that. Striker.
You're still a striker.
I'm wing. I play on the wing. I play up front.
Yeah, it's,
But nah, that's mad because I've known you as a centre mid.
Centre mid.
oh really?
I didn't even
When
know
you s-
myself as a centre mid.
Yeah, when was that Brains? He's playing centre mid.
Okay, well that shows how technical you must be. Let's be honest.
Well, I think Ryan wanted me in there to be a bit of a dog at that time. if
Yeah,
you remember.
yeah. Maxi,
It was-
Maxi,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Myself and MJ.
yeah. Two workhorses.
I always wonder
No,
as
but you lot
well.
was better than workhorses.
I always wonder as well, like in non-league, because obviously I think playing up front, the goals speak for themselves, you know. But I always think certain other positions, like playing at the back, it could be harder to be recognised. It could be harder.
It is.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you
It
could
is,
be,
it
you could be
is.
really, you could be a good player, but there aren't necessarily stats to back it up. You're part of a unit, so
Yeah.
if you leak a goal, you know.
I remember you
your
could be in
name
the
is
team
on
that's
that
just
CV.
leaking goal, and
Yeah.
it might not be your fault. As
Yeah.
well.
Whereas if you're playing up front, you're a striker. Your team could lose 6-2. You could have got a
But
brace. You know?
this
so,
is the thing, though, is I feel like with centre back, it's harder you have to be more focused because up front you might get chances. You might miss one chance, you get
Yeah.
another one, and defense you could make one error.
Yeah, literally, this is it. Yeah. Yeah. That's
get
what
punished.
people remember. Yeah.
I ain't got that. Man. I ain't got that. I ain't got that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, certain players was never gonna be
I was,
your reliability in a sense that was gonna make you. You know what I'm
What are you
saying?
trying to
Yeah.
say? You're putting me in that
Yeah,
right?
let's be honest. Let's be honest. You're a dynamo. You're creative. You got a spark, but it's never gonna be.
I ain't got that concentration. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
Maybe a
yeah.
wing back.
I mean, you've done that. Joe.
I've done it a few times.
You've done that, Joe.
It's not. I won't say that.
But,
Okay.
yeah. But like you say, it is more difficult, like because, like you say, Carl, like you could have a fantastic game, but the team has lost,
Yeah.
2-3-0.
Yeah.
But you personally may have actually had not,
great
not
game.
a bad game.
Exactly, and it's hard to see that. It's hard for a lot of people to see that.
And
So where was you playing at Blackburn? Is this at the back?
centre back and then left back as well a bit. I always quite enjoyed. I'm like a runner. I enjoy running, so
Yeah.
I enjoyed getting up and down the left flank. And back then I was a bit more athletic.
I don't know who enjoys.
We didn't really do much gym or anything at Blackburn.
Didn't
To
you?
be honest, it was like just very
Football.
athletic. I was very lean. Like not much body fat on me, and it was all technical, tactical. We do a gym session on a recovery day, like the day after a game or something like that. But then it's only when you start to come down the levels, it's more
It's doggish.
it's
Fighting.
very physical, at times unnecessarily physical.
Yeah.
Perhaps to make up for the lack of
Their technique, yeah.
Technical ability, yeah.
So okay, what we got? We got Blackburn
So-
up to
Motherwell,
Motherwell, Aberdeen,
Aberdeen, Blackburn.
and obviously Wikipedia. We ain't believe you. I've seen Italy.
yes.
At what stage did Italy come in that?
Italy came, so I left Blackburn and went to Exeter.
Okay, what league were they in? At the time?
Exeter were League Two.
Okay,
Exeter were League Two.
What league was Blackburn in?
Blackburn was in the Prem in the first year, and then they got relegated that year, and we went to the champ.
So did you make any appearances in the champ or?
No, so I was on the bench in the Prem on the first game of the season.
Which
You
man?
kept
Who's your
this
manager?
Quiet, bro. I'm learning so
Yeah.
much today, bro.
Which is
What?
cool. Yeah.
Who's your manager?
It was Steve Keane was the manager at Blackburn.
Steve Keane. Yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah.
What players were there at the time?
Some very good players.
Yeah?
Very good players, yeah. Junior Hoylett,
Oh, what a player,
Okay,
bro.
yeah, baller.
great guy as well. Like Yakubu.
Oh,
Big
really?
yak, yeah?
The yak.
Right,
Feed the yak.
Yeah.
Steven Nzonzi. Great
Okay,
player.
yeah,
What
he was a
a
good player.
player,
Yeah.
by the way.
Great player. Really lovely guy as well.
Technically, he must have been clean, innit?
I would say probably maybe the best player I've ever played.
That trick,
I
that
would say so. Yeah,
seriously?
Stephen was ridiculous, very underrated as well. Because the thing with him is he was so, he was so nonchalant. He was so chilled. He was so,
Yeah, the
so
whole
swag.
style wasn't.
He
it was
reminds
very,
me
like,
of
laid
that
back.
player that was at Watford as well, man.
Who's
You know that they always had these Capu.
Capoue,
Like they all that
Etienne
element
Capoue,
that's that
really kind of
Nzonzi,
long, just
that
tall, yeah,
long
yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
just technically.
I remember Nzonzi was he was.
But
he
yeah,
was top.
anyone else? Was Pedersen there?
He was ridiculous.
Wow.
His people like his left foot was unreal. His right foot was also unreal.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, like after training, practicing free kicks, left foot, right foot, like ridiculous. It was
Apparently,
ridiculous.
Apparently, I've read something that said he was actually right-footed first, and then his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad said you'll get
I've
further
heard
if you're
that.
left-footed.
Yeah.
So he made him change, made him use his left foot.
I believe, based off of what I saw,
You can
I
You
believe
believe
I
that? You can believe
yeah.
that? Seriously?
For sure, for sure.
How did you find training? How did you
But
find
he
how
loved
you
it, I could tell.
how you matched up to
I
these
loved
guys?
it. I loved every day of it.
Okay.
Especially at the start when I first went in there, I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
It was amazing.
That makes me wonder though, yeah. Because if you loved it and I'm sure you didn't really, knowing you, I don't think you'd struggle in that environment, yeah. Why did you second guess yourself then when you was like, am I here on my dad's sort of.
Good question.
I think the season didn't start well for the team,
Okay.
and that didn't help my situation. It didn't help obviously the manager's situation. It didn't help my dad's situation. He had helped the club. He had helped the previous owners to find a new buyer for the club.
Oh, wow.
So my dad had some involvement in helping the club there as well. And obviously the fact that the season didn't start well, like I say, didn't help the manager. And then they came for my dad as well.
Okay.
On my dad's son. So
Yeah.
it got a bit it got a bit toxic
Okay.
for me personally as well.
Yeah.
Because so that's why, like I say, it started so well, and then it was quite a lot. It could have gone either way. If the team
Yeah.
would have started really well,
Yeah.
then no one really would have batted an eyelid.
Yeah.
And I remember in the first the first game of the season, we lost. I remember the game I was on the bench, we lost to Wolves, but really it could have gone either way. And then I think it was our third game, we played Everton at home. We missed 2 penalties in one game, and we lost.
I vaguely remember.
We missed
that.
2 penalties, I think,
Yeah.
in one game, and we lost the game. So these little things were starting to happen,
Yeah.
were happening at the very start. You win that game against Wolves, you start the season well in front of your home fans. You win
It's
that
thin
next
margins,
game.
bro.
It's fine margins. It's moments in games, moments in life, moments in your career, and yeah, things could obviously have gone very differently. And I remember even that first. So I'd done the whole of the pre-season, obviously with the first team, flown. Can't remember exactly. It might have been Austria. You do like altitude training.
Yeah.
So we did like a week there. Then obviously was involved with all the games in pre-season with the first team.
Mm.
And I remember actually when we arrived back in the UK. Remember, so Steve Keane obviously was a manager. John Jensen was the assistant manager.
Mm.
I remember them coming to me in the airport after that week away. Obviously, it's my first week with the first team and all of that. And they said to me, like, you've pissed it. Like, you've
It's
shown,
easy. Yeah.
you've shown like, not obviously it's not easy, but
You
you've
deserve
shown
to
that you
be
belong.
here.
You've shown that you
Yeah.
And I remember like the players as well, obviously. I think because of my dad's involvement, they obviously, there's a few questions, a few eyebrows raised.
Yeah.
But once I actually showed
On the pitch
you
that you
know,
can play.
that showed my desire, my energy, my love, my passion for the game, and as well as my ability, and also as a person, I mixed in well with the group. I think I was accepted.
Yeah.
You was never
You
gonna
know?
have that problem though. I don't think with you, just knowing you personally, I don't think you'd never have that problem of fitting in with a group.
Yeah, the irony being though, funny you touch upon those things that you touched upon. I would imagine that would have been the biggest question mark against you: the
Yeah.
desire, the commitment. Because if people are thinking, yeah, you might be here not off your own merit or whatever, that would be the one thing they'd be looking for, isn't it? So,
Sure.
and you were well aware of that at
Yeah,
that time.
for sure.
Yeah.
I remember I met an agent one time, and he said to me that you play like, because obviously I was very fortunate in my upbringing, with my family, and I remember this guy said to me, you play and like you tackle like you come from nothing.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I love that
was,
as well.
That was one of the biggest. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's my passion and my desire coming out like, on the pitch, and I was happy that someone that people were seeing that and
yeah,
recognizing that, and my
Yeah.
teammates did. And so just to complete that, what I was saying is that when we came back then from the pre-season and abroad and then continued, I guess I was very close to even starting that first game of the season
Okay.
Sick.
because
Of how well you
Gael
done.
Givet was ill. He was a left centre back at the time. Great player, great guy. And Chris Samba as well. Another
Oh,
unbelievable
yeah.
player.
Chris
And
Samba!
Yeah.
and a
The
great,
tower.
great guy. But he was, so those two were out. What was it? So those two were out.
Sorry, wait, I'm
Fi-
about
yeah.
to do it again. He hasn't passed away, has he?
Who's that?
Chris Samba.
No.
I keep killing off these people,
No.
man. Sorry, my bad.
Murderer,
Sorry.
bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep doing that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
let me just
that's-
pick up that name. It's Chris Samba, Chris
No.
Samba.
So they were out, and I think club captain Ryan Nelson, another great player, great guy.
He's
he-
Australian, that guy.
New Zealand.
New Zealand,
that's
yeah.
it.
He
Sorry.
was out as well. So it was basically me and Grant Hanley. Phil Jones had just been sold to Manchester United,
Wow.
Blimmin',
and
yeah.
then he played Grant and Stephen Zonzi at centre backs in that
Okay.
game.
Yeah.
Then I was on the bench.
What was Phil Jones like?
Just unbelievably quick. I didn't see too much of him because I think I arrived after that.
Yeah.
He had left, so he left in that summer, and then I came in.
Oh, so you didn't actually see him? Oh, when
I
you
was
trained,
when I was on the trial, I trained a bit. Yeah,
was you?
um,
What do you mean unbelievably
just just
rapid?
so quick. Yeah, I think
I don't even see. I don't even.
Nah, it doesn't look that way, does it?
He doesn't look like that.
No.
Grant Hanley as well. Another one, very
Still
quick.
playing.
Doesn't even. I guess doesn't necessarily look that quick, but so quick.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Makes no
These are the
sense.
things though that I love because you don't know these things.
Yeah.
When you're just watching on TV,
Yeah.
you don't know these things.
Inside knowledge is different.
But yeah, so you must have enjoyed it, man. Like the experience and being fortunate enough to be in that environment. Like I have so many questions, man, but I know we've got like a limited amount of time.
Yeah,
but-
we need to keep moving because okay, so based on the toxicity of how Blackburn kind of ended, as you touched upon,
Yeah.
Italy must have like represented like a fresh start, like new country. Where did you move to in Italy? Which club?
I'd say it's a great point, and I think that there were a couple of main reasons why I went. One of them was I felt like I was stepping out of my dad's shadow.
Yeah.
Also like to be a pioneer of things. There weren't many people playing abroad at that time. I remember in Italy, it was like, I think Ashley Cole was at Roma, Micah Richards was at Fiorentina,
Yeah.
and then I was at this team, AC Monza, who are now in Serie A.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So when you joined, were they
Serie B?
from what I remember, they weren't in Serie A when you joined
No.
them, right? So
No.
you helped with the promotion push.
Yeah, so they were in. So back then you had Serie A, Serie B, and Serie C1 and C2. So C1 and C2.
Hey, don't tell me you learned the language. Hey, you kind of
Yeah.
look Italian. Hold on, what's going on? Yeah.
Nah, he's got that. He's got that.
Is that how they embrace you so much? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I learned. I did Italian at school, A level,
Oh, sick. Okay.
Must
Spanish
have-
and French.
Must
But,
have raw.
Nice.
This guy's just like the book that keeps giving,
But,
bro.
but we know about you, though. You're not asking our questions, man. Hey,
Ah, this is mad.
rewind back to a few years ago, Island Village, and you were a guest to our house. We learned that he doesn't ask many valuable questions, but we'll talk about that another time. Yeah, all right. So yeah. So you gone to this club. So were they in Serie B or the other?
No,
one?
so Serie C. So they were in the 4th tier, and what was happening at that time, that season, you needed to get promoted to Serie C, Serie C, or you'd go into Serie D. So they stopped Serie C1 and C2, and they just made it Serie C1.
Okay.
And we got promoted that year. They
Sick.
split it, so the top, I think the top 4, the top 8 from that league stayed in Serie C or went up to Serie C1, and the others went down into Serie D, which
Got
was
you.
like the National League equivalent.
Got
So
you.
we went up. We were in League One equivalent.
Okay.
So what was the difference between the football that you noticed in Italy to like?
it was just so much more structured and so much more tactical. I mean, I
knew you was gonna
didn't
say
play.
that.
I didn't play for like 3 months because I played in a couple of cup games, but I didn't play because I was learning every day. I was learning how to be a part of the back 4 unit or back 5 if you played it.
What would
back
you lot
five.
play in back 5?
We changed it. We either played with a back 4 or back 3 and 2 backs. But my first game out there, I played left centre half in a back 4. But it was, I'd probably say that guy called Antonino Asta, he was probably the manager I learned the most from at Monza, because he
Okay.
was just on to me he would, it's like we had like a love-hate relationship. Like he would like stop the training sessions in the middle of the sessions and be like, Anderson, no, die, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
literally, like,
Just pick you out a lot.
and pick
yeah?
me out, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh man, and like, but so your ego is like,
Deflated.
oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
But then you drop that, and then you understand that he's teaching me.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to actually step into this team.
Yeah.
So much tactical work, so much like 6 attack v defense or 6v4 or like 7v4. It was incredible experience. So yeah, I started to look at the game in
Different ways, isn't it?
completely different way.
Yeah.
Now even when I watch football, when I play football, I'm watching the defense the whole time.
Yeah.
Or the way that the team moves out of possession
Yeah.
shape, the way the back 4 moves. So yeah.
Oh man, I'm conscious because I'm enjoying this.
Okay. And then so I know as well, like Wikipedia won't believe you.
Yeah.
You moved in Italy as well. You moved club.
Yeah.
So what caused that to happen?
So actually, obviously I didn't want to leave Monza, but I think it's something that they often do in Italy is each year they will change. So they changed the manager. He left and went to another team in the league called Bassano.
But they got promoted.
They got promoted, but they changed the manager. They brought in a guy called Fulvio Pea,
Okay.
who had been, I think him and Mourinho had some kind of connection.
Okay.
I think when Mourinho was at Inter, he was like the under-18s manager. He's a cool guy, but obviously, we've been in football. When the new management team comes in,
They bring in their players.
They bring in their players. I still had another year, but there were only like 5 or 6 of us that were left from the previous year, and most of us got loaned out.
Okay.
A couple of us actually got loaned out to the same team, this team Pro Patria.
Yeah.
Same league actually, the same league.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how it happened, but they actually allowed me to play against them.
Okay.
Oh wow! Did
Yeah.
you play well against them?
Scored against them, didn't I?
Oh, did you celebrate?
I went mad. Yeah.
Have to celebrate. Have to.
Your lone club.
I do not understand why players do not celebrate against their parent clubs. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
But no one plays against their parent club.
No, I'm
yeah.
saying even their old clubs. So I'm celebrating.
No, I'm celebrating against my old club, but my parent club,
I'm celebrating.
I don't know, Coutinho.
Normally you wouldn't be allowed to play, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
England, that would never
Never happened.
happen, yeah.
Even I think David Raya,
Yeah.
he couldn't play
You can't play
against
against Brentford.
Brentford, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I love how he does
yeah.
the accents when he says the name.
Hey, no, I could tell the Italian. What? So at that time, you knew
David was at
Italian?
Blackburn at the time as well.
Who?
David was at
Seriously?
he was at Blackburn, yeah.
How old is this guy?
Yeah.
David is maybe 28, but he was like 15, 16 probably at the time.
Okay.
Okay.
That's mad.
Obviously, because he's Spanish and I spoke Spanish. There was him and another guy called Hugo, Spanish guy. Obviously, they'd come over from Spain.
So wait, how old would he have been?
He would have been, I think he would have been like 16. But he would train with like the 21s, sometimes with the first team.
Okay, so he's been in England a long time.
He's been, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you see signs then that he was?
Yeah, he's like technically unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Italy like technically like good though? Was it like the or would you say it was just more tactical and it's like chess, isn't it?
It's like, yeah. Like you see how, for example, when how Conte manages.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's be compact, don't concede, don't get beat, play on the
Yeah,
counter, that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of. So it's always very much about not getting beat first.
Yeah.
That kind of mentality.
Yeah.
You don't get beat, maybe win the game 1-0.
Was there anyone that you like played against that you thought, bruv, yeah, this guy is giving me problems in Italy or?
Trying to think.
Because you
Can't
played in Serie A as well, didn't you?
I was on the bench. I was on the bench a few times.
Ah,
didn't
okay.
actually.
You
Okay.
didn't play?
Didn't actually play. I couldn't break through.
But the club made it Serie A.
So Chievo was.
Chievo, yeah, I
Verona
saw
was in
that,
Serie A,
yeah. Oh, right,
But
okay.
they had some pretty decent players ahead of me, so I couldn't break through there.
And any notable names in that Chievo team?
There was. I'm trying to think. A couple of Argentinian guys.
Okay.
One guy actually played in England. A guy called Ezekiel Schelotto.
Which
Played for
team?
Brighton,
Okay.
right back. And a guy called Ruben Botta,
Okay.
who
rings a
they were
bell.
actually on loan from Inter at the time. A guy, I'm trying to think who else. There's a guy at left back called Christian Biraghi, who
That rings a bell
he
as
went on
well.
to play for like the Italy national team and
Yeah.
captained, I think, Fiorentina, Sampdoria. He wasn't even playing at the time. Like there was someone, I can't remember exactly who was playing ahead of him.
Wow.
He was on loan, I think, from Inter as well.
There's like a smoking culture there as well, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah, I've read that in books.
How much can I say on?
Yeah, hey, bro.
Hey, spill it all, man.
Yeah,
Spill the
man, you can
beans.
say what you want.
Okay, so at it's a massive coffee culture,
Yeah.
but their coffee is like a doppio espresso, like a double espresso.
Yeah, it's strong.
So, like, I couldn't drink coffee.
Yeah.
Before training, like at Monza, you know, a couple of boys smoking behind the trees, having the coffees. I'm thinking like, what's going on here? And then so I thought, okay, fine, that's it, you know, Sedici. And then when I went to Chievo, you've got in the dressing room, you had like 2 cubicles
Yeah.
that you can go to the toilet in, but one was to go to the toilet in, and the other was to go and smoke in.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of the guys would go in, open the windows, and be smoking in there.
Wow.
In that one. And I was just like, is this like this?
That's what they do,
In
man.
this Serie A, like,
That's
what's going on here?
That's mad, isn't
There
it?
I was.
They're just smoking that.
And these guys, like, and there I was, like, getting in first, you know, doing ice baths after
Yeah,
training
yeah,
every
yeah.
day,
Yeah.
always in the gym, always doing extras with the fitness guy. And these guys were just so chilled. They were just so relaxed, and they were
Yeah.
such great players as well.
Yeah.
So
You know,
relaxed.
is that where you think like your yoga like kind of comes from? That because I've heard Italy's. It's all coming out now. You see it, but I heard Italy's like quite big for yoga. Like they do like a lot of stretching, etc. That's why they last so long in their sort of career. Was that where you'd say you got that sort of passion for?
Not even actually. I
Okay.
didn't connect fully with yoga, I wouldn't say, until when I got injured with you at Braintree.
Oh, okay.
That's when I connected with it and found it. Even just before that. But in Italy, it was, I think in hindsight, what I could say is that I was doing all these extras, everything on it, like a madman every day.
Mm.
But these guys were chilled. So I started to see and understand, like, if you're relaxed in your mind,
Yeah.
and you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter, like, if you have a cigarette or you have a drink on a Wednesday night.
No, don't tell me they turned you to a chain smoker. Man.
No. So I didn't. That's what I mean. So I lived out there for 3 years.
Okay.
Didn't smoke. Didn't drink.
Yeah.
Didn't drink coffee
Okay.
because I was so like focused.
so
Determined.
focused,
This
yeah.
guy's determined.
But actually, the culture out there was to be. I gotta tell you this. Got to tell you this one
Build
story.
this, bro.
So, all right. So there's this. So Chievo, there was a striker called Nicola Pozzi. Great guy, funny guy, very funny guy. He told me this story one time, and he said that when he was like a youngster coming through, I think he was at Sampdoria. He was saying, he said the manager said to him, "Oh, Pozzi," he said, obviously in Italian. He said, "Like, do you smoke?" Mister, no, I don't smoke. No.
He got the accent.
He said, Pozzi, do you drink? Do you like to go out? Of course, mister. No, I'm professional. He said, Pozzi, do you like the figure, like the women?
Yeah.
No, one woman. So he said to him, you will never play in Serie A.
That's hilarious.
No, that's good, man. That's actually good.
And was he being serious at the time? That's the
Mate,
question.
he's being serious.
Oh,
That's-
that's
that's-
crazy, man.
But I heard that. I think I read Bentner's autobiography, and that's where I learned about all of this. Like at Juventus, that they
That's
smoke.
funny. But you know, it's well documented. I think Arsene Wenger used to smoke as well, didn't he?
Not
Like,
100% sure, but it went. Oh no, yes, that's true. I think
Oh, well,
you read his book.
Yeah, I read his
think
book
he
and
spoke
I've seen
about it in the book.
footage of in France they used to smoke, but what was crazy about it, they're saying he used to smoke like near the dugouts and like literally
Yeah.
just behind where the subs were chilling. Like he used to smoke there, so it's a very I don't
That's
think it's
mad
just
because
Italy, yeah.
he's
But
like so. I feel like he's the one that changed English football
Yeah,
in
it's-
terms
it's
of like
crazy.
nutrition. And
yeah,
stuff. So
100%,
that's weird that he smokes.
yeah, 100%.
Smoking-
It's strange.
Smoking bad then.
It's
That's the
strange.
question it now, bro.
Who knows? All right, so okay, so yeah, that's an. What was life in Italy like? I mean, off the pitch, how did you cope with that?
Someone asked me this earlier today. Actually, I kind of wish that I had enjoyed it more,
You was more serious.
but I was yeah. I was
Okay.
more serious. So like living in Monza, just outside Milan,
Mm.
you know, instead of maybe finishing training and like going into Milan in the afternoon
Mm.
or going to the park, have an ice cream, I would like just go to the gym.
Yeah, bro.
know.
You lived a rigid life, man.
Yeah, I know. And it was only trying to think when I was at Chievo, I got injured with like 3-4 weeks to go to the end of the season, rolled my ankle, so I was out. And then the Argentinian boy said to me, "Come on, now you come with us."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, fine." So then I enjoyed it a little bit more,
Okay.
explored a little bit more.
Yeah.
Verona was amazing because you got Lake Garda there, and the training ground was literally, not even 5-minute drive from the lake. Go and have lunch on the lake, go have an ice cream, walk on the lake, like
Mm.
unbelievable.
That is life, bro.
Unbelievable.
And
That's
did-
how life should be. Man.
Yeah. And did you have an agent that wasn't your dad?
I did. I actually had an Italian agent for probably about a season, I think it was.
Okay.
That's when I left Chievo. I went to a team called L'Aquila Calcio, which is in the mountains, actually. You'd fly to Rome and then you drive up about an hour into the mountains. And yeah, he was cool, the agent, and that was another interesting experience, like literally living in the mountains where, I don't know if you know about L'Aquila, it had some pretty bad damage done to it. There's some earthquakes a few years ago. So like most of if you went into the city centre, a lot of buildings still hadn't been reconstructed.
Okay.
Is that north or south of Italy?
So it's quite central,
Okay.
quite central, yeah.
I do remember that a few years ago something happened. I think it was southern Italy.
So I think that was in a place called Amatrice, which is not far from L'Aquila.
Okay.
If that's the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, but because a friend of mine, yeah, she's from out there, and yeah, I think I can't remember exactly where she's from, but
I find Italy so interesting. Do you
it's
know
a very,
why?
it's a very
Because
yeah.
I heard that my cousin, I don't always listen to him. He chats rubbish. Shout him out anyway. But he said that parts of Italy is like proper cold, and he's like there's parts where it's proper hot.
Yeah.
Is that true? So like he was like you can have 2 holidays like in one if you go to one part of Italy and another part.
I think it's based on the ranges, isn't it? Like the mountainous parts are quite cold and stuff
Yeah.
like that, isn't it?
So I would say north of Italy, like Milan, is more similar to like an English like temperature, climate. Then obviously when you start to go down south, going like to Sicily,
Yeah.
Sardinia, Sicily, you're moving down towards like Africa.
Yeah.
And so the
so it's hot.
climates. Yeah, so I've got a friend who lives in Sicily, Catania, who's like to me, like, come whenever, because it's like,
Beautiful.
it's nice all year round. Even at Christmas, like you can be on the beach, it's like 15, 20 degrees.
Wow.
So those are probably the places.
So where's like I don't know. I don't know. So where's like Turin? Where's that? Is that south?
So north, west.
Yeah, we went to
Yeah, you've been there. You've been there. You went. You saw the old lady, innit?
Yeah. Went to.
Did
we
you-
saw Torino as well, the club.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, do you know? I only knew about Juventus. I didn't know about Torino, so it was good. We went to Torino ground.
Did you play at these? Like, did you not play? But did you go to these stadiums when you was?
So Torino was actually on the bench for Chievo against Torino. We lost. Maxi Lopez, I think, scored.
Wow, that's a name. That's how you pick it up. Yeah.
And the Juventus one was mad because when I was at Monza, they organised a friendly at the Juventus training ground, which is actually my birthday at the time.
Wow.
So some birthday present that was. And I remember, like, it was just incredible. It was like surreal. It was like,
Yeah.
Mm.
Who was playing in these games? Like, I need to know.
are you going to catch me on the name drop again?
No, I'm catching better than them still.
I'm just trying to think what order I should do this in. Should I start with like the most known, or should I start with one that you wouldn't know?
So that was the ones you rated the most. The ones that stuck out to you. The
Yeah,
most.
yeah.
Okay, I'll go. So the strikers were Vucinic and Quagliarella.
Okay.
Vucinic.
They
Yeah,
were playing
Vucinic
up front.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
Vucinic.
Giovinco was playing.
The small one.
He was, I think, he retired our right back. He was unbelievable. Like,
What? He's tiny though, isn't
he
it?
was, yeah, tiny.
That's proper tiny.
Giovinco.
He's got a bald head,
Yeah,
innit?
bald head, yeah. He went out.
Tiny.
He went out to the States for a while as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. What he was
Um,
he? What was he? Quick.
I mean,
Just-
just like I'm just happy I wasn't anywhere near him.
what? Like just.
Like ridiculous. I can't like.
yeah,
I can't describe like he was going past the players like they weren't even there. Like,
Bro, that's mad.
like Marquisio,
Wow.
he was the one who was finding him. Like, you understand the level. Like, the guy was receiving the ball, like centre back or right back on his left, and then without even looking, just hitting diags
Yeah.
straight to Giovinco. Just
What on his
knew
left
it.
foot or?
Just, so he'd control with the left, just hit with the
Like-
right. Didn't even look like,
Wow.
and it was just going straight to him. And I'm thinking like, what like
Yeah, how?
how?
Marquis, what a player, bro.
Trying to think who else. Ogbono was playing, the guy who's at West Ham now.
Yes, yeah, the defender.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Cáceres, Martin Cáceres, who I think the right back, I think he ended up going to Barcelona.
Cáceres,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who else played?
No, that's
And then the best one is Buffon was playing.
Oh.
Yeah.
My gosh.
I heard he
Great.
never sidewinds, you know that? I
He
don't know.
never?
He doesn't like, you know, like keepers catch it and they sidewind.
He
He doesn't
sound-
sidewind. Apparently he just like
He just punts it.
straight, yeah, apparently he never sidewinds. And that. That's funny.
So wait, what made you leave Italy then?
I found it tough towards the end out there because, especially the last club I was at, I was the only like foreigner.
Mm.
Really. Like, especially in the lower levels, there weren't that many foreigners.
Yeah.
And I just think I'd kind of done my time out there. I'd done what I needed to do.
Mm.
I kind of achieved what I wanted to achieve by going out there.
Okay.
And I think I was ready. It was time
Um,
to like come back to England, having grown as a man, grown into my own being, out of, if you like, the shadow of my dad.
Yeah.
And I was ready now to come back to England and you know, be me.
Yeah.
You know, Myles Anderson
Yeah.
and play.
Okay. And where did you go back to?
So I was supposed to actually sign for Chesterfield at the time because they had Danny Wilson was there as the
Oh,
manager.
right.
They
Yeah.
were in League One.
League One, yeah.
And he had known of me for a couple of years. And so I went there. I was there for the preseason again, went on the tour with them. I think again, I can't remember exactly where it was.
How old are you at this point?
I was 25, 2015, I think it was.
Good age.
25 or 26.
Great age.
Maybe 26. And 26, 2016. And I can remember he kept saying like, you're going to sign, but we just need to move a couple of players on to free up the budget.
Okay.
So I was there for like, I was there for the whole preseason.
Mm.
And then it
Not being paid.
didn't, but then it didn't happen. He called me one day and said like, I can't do it. Like, we can't do it. We don't have the budget to do it. So sorry. And obviously that was tough.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Is it,
That was
was
tough.
this based off like your like wage expectations from you, or were you
No, I
willing
think
to?
like for me, I just wanted to get into a club and play.
Yeah.
Be back in England, especially he was cool, Danny Wilson as well.
Yeah.
We got on really well. I got on well with all the boys as well. And yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
get in and start playing. But like I say, yeah, for whatever for the budgetary reasons, he wasn't able to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I ended up signing at Barrow in the National League.
Okay. Talk us through your thoughts and feelings about that transition and
Yeah, that was,
When you
that
come
was
non-league,
tough.
innit?
That was tough. That was tough. Obviously, I was expecting to go and play, in League One
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
Then end up in the National League. That was a very different experience. Especially the style of football that Barrow played.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Which, I mean, you can't really. You have to respect it because they were winning every game. They were like unbeaten in like 26, and they got to either the first or the third round of the FA Cup. They were up in the playoffs in the National League, but it wasn't really
Your style.
my style.
Yeah, I hear you.
I remember, so I signed, and then I went to watch a game that weekend. I remember going with my dad to watch the game. They played Woking away. I think I'd signed a couple of days earlier, and I was due to come in on like the Monday to start training with them. I watched the game. I think they won. Like, I think they battered Woking, but it was the way they played. I remember turning to my dad saying, like,
What have I done?
what have I done?
What have I
basically?
done?
Like,
Yeah, I know
like,
that.
I'm not going to play. Like, I'm not going to play in this team.
Yeah. Based on your strengths.
Based on like the way they went. Yeah, it was, yeah. And I was right. I played
But had
one
they
game.
watched you?
Yeah.
But had they watched you? Like, what was it? Or was it that Chesterfield had recommended you? Well, how did this come about?
I can't remember exactly, but obviously Paul Cox was the manager at the time. I think maybe they must have spoken with it must have been of recommendations,
Yeah.
word of mouth. I think there was another young agent was involved, and yeah, and so that's how.
Because a lot of the time, that is what actually happens with certain players. Like, they just sort of recommend
It's just word of mouth.
but they haven't been seen. They ain't seen. They don't know what this player can do. They
Yeah.
don't know.
Whether they'll fit the system or not.
Yeah,
Or,
Yeah.
And then that's more damaging to both parties.
yeah. Wasting time as well.
Yeah.
So you played one game.
I played one game in the FA Cup. We won. Did not too bad.
Didn't play the next game.
But then Musa, he's a good friend of mine, Musa Diarra.
The tall
Yeah.
one.
He
Not this guy's tall.
yeah, he's very tall.
How tall is he?
I gathered by all the tools.
He's maybe 6'5" at least, maybe 6'7".
I played against him. He is unbelievable. He was at Woking, wasn't he?
He was at Woking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played against him. He is the tallest player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's so tall,
He's
bro.
massive, yeah.
Okay.
Great guy, but like he was starting.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I played that one game was because he went back to France and he missed the flight back or something like that. So then I played the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when he got back, he was straight back in. But I knew that I knew I was going to play there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's mad.
And then off from Barrow, where was it next?
Then I went to Torquay,
Okay. And what similar league? What we're talking
National League.
Yeah,
National
totally.
League.
Yeah. So at this time, what I want to know what your mentality is in terms of have you kind of resigned to the fact that this is where you're going to be, or are you still thinking what I'm going to do this for a little bit and then I'm going to move back up to the leagues, or what are you thinking?
No, definitely. I thought
You're gonna go back to
I'm
the
going
league.
back up.
Yeah,
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 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm going back up. Like I wasn't planning on staying around
Yeah.
National League for too long.
Yeah.
But you stayed for a while, didn't you? You stayed.
Remind me.
You stayed. No, because I
I didn't come. I didn't get out.
Yeah, no, I think you because you went Torquay. Then where did you go after Torquay?
Torquay, Chester,
Same league.
same league.
Then
Hartlepool,
same league.
same league.
That's where you met Nico.
Yeah.
So you met Nico. Okay.
Yeah.
Big up Nico. And then after
Uncle.
after Hartlepool, you went
I went to Weymouth,
and then after Weymouth, that's when you come down
Hampton
one
to
and-
Braintree.
Hampton and Richmond.
Hampton and Richmond, and then Hampton. It was Braintree. After.
Braintree. Yeah.
So who did you play under at Hampton and Richmond?
You did play
Gary.
under. Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah,
you played under
okay.
Gary.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know what? Just to run out of time, like I feel like we could go into so much depth into all those clubs, and I'm sure you've got so many stories in that as well. But just kind of what we touched upon outside, unleash the player. Let's talk about that because you've had a unique experiences in going abroad to Italy and obviously being exposed to some of the players and and yeah, the things you've been exposed to. What made you start Unleash the Player? Where did that come from?
From my heart.
Okay. What was it that inspired it in your heart?
All my experiences in life and in football. And I set like, obviously I had a lot of good support, great support, incredible support. But I never really had the support from someone who had been through it, been through the struggles, been through the rejection, like actually in the football industry as a player, understanding how to manage relationships with managers, manage relationships with your teammates, where to find that self-belief, you know,
sorry to interrupt. Maybe for some context, just tell the people what exactly is Unleash the Player.
So Unleash the Player is a 12-week mind and life and career transformation program, where we work through different processes to essentially help you to unleash your full potential as both a player, obviously the boys want to be players, and also to help you to grow as a man, really as a man, because I felt that as a player, I was Myles Anderson, the player. My identity was attached with that. Was treated as that, treated as numbers, if you like. You're not going to do the job, someone else will do it.
100.
But there was a lack of, my feeling, my experience with that, there was a lack of focus and attention on the growth of the human being, of the individual. Which you take the man that you are with you onto the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And my feeling, my experience with that, there was a massive lack of that. You know, obviously, I'm sure you have as well, and you in football, like you go through a lot of difficult moments, a lot of struggles, some dark times as well. Like,
what was your darkest time? What was your most difficult moment?
I'd say two. One was at Blackburn because I was just a 20, 21-year-old kid who was living his dream of being a professional footballer. And, you know, going to the stadium and there's banners like Anderson out, you're getting online abuse. I'm getting David Dunn coming up to me saying on the coach, like, I'm so sorry, like what's been written on the internet, which I hadn't even seen, like, don't worry, like if you need anything, like me and my boys will protect you, and all, like,
wow,
got you know, all this kind of stuff going on. Remember, I was getting like chest pains when I spoke to the doctor. Like it was that was really, because like I said, and it's funny because I remember one of like my first weeks there, I was always smiling, always happy, just loving being there. And there was a player there called Zach Ailey. I'll never forget this. And he was like to me, he's a Scouser, he was like to me, you're always so smiley, so happily. He was like, come and see me in a few months' time.
Wow.
Because obviously he understood
what it was like,
football and, you know, and on top of that, all this stuff that was going on, which, yeah, like I say, I was just trying to do what everyone else was doing and, you know, live the dream and be the best player that I could be. So that was obviously a dark time. So yes, and then I would say the other one was, I was at Hartlepool, and I felt that I'd finally kind of found, you know, as a player, you want to find a home, right? You want to find a home. You want to find a club where you're like, you know what, I'm playing every game here. Manager's here to stay. Like, manager likes me. The fans like me. Like, I lost my teeth and things. I was wearing like Hartlepool coloured mouth guards in games because
I think I saw that.
Yeah,
that was you.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
Wow.
So, you know, I'd built this connection with the club, with the teammates, with the fans, with the manager, and then played like all the games in the first season, like 40 games or something. And then the next season, I had an operation on my mouth, so I missed like pre-season, missed a couple of games. When I came back, I played. In the first game, I got concussed, so I was out for a few weeks. It wasn't the first concussion, so I took my time coming back. And by the time I'd come back, Craig Ignat, who was my manager at the time, he'd been sacked. The team wasn't even doing that badly, but he'd been sacked. And then Dave Challoner came in, and he's a cool guy,
Yeah, he's won stuff, isn't he?
right?
Yeah.
He's done great.
Yeah.
He's had a great, he's got promoted with Hartlepool, got promoted back to back with Stockport. Like, cool guy, absolutely. We had a decent enough relationship. Yeah, he did a lot. He got involved a lot when I did some charity stuff as well. He was great. And he said, like, you've done great for me, but he was just bringing in a player that was quicker than me. Earlier we spoke about
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah.
The levels that can take you to. And I was never blessed with great pace. I was quick enough. That's why I had to read the game.
Yeah.
So, me, like, every day in training, I'm doing my best. Like, I'm running more than anyone and everything to try and somehow get in the team. But then I was either on the bench or not in the squad. So I've gone from playing every week and thinking, in my mind, okay, cool, I'm going to be at this club for, the foreseeable future, maybe even grow into a vice captain, a captain, maybe even go to a coach. Like, you start to
make plans.
Yeah.
And then because of the change in the manager, like that, it didn't matter what I did.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in, right?
I've actually been there, but yeah.
And now I'm 30 years old, and I'm thinking, you make the choices yourself, but in my head, I'm starting to think I've given everything, given my whole life to try and, to chasing this football career. I was thinking, who am I? Like, who actually am I?
Yeah.
Who am
identity,
you
outside of the football.
outside of football, and started to it was very stressful time, because then I started thinking, like, you start to understand that your career, as much as you do, it's actually in the palm of someone else.
100%. Bruv, you hit the nail on the head. I'm just conscious of the time.
It's a tough realization, isn't it?
Because of
it's such a great conversation. That's a hard realization. I can imagine. Wow. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, but that's
bruv.
So do you know what? And every cloud has a silver lining, and obviously down to those experiences, that's why Unleash the Player was born.
Yeah.
And just from the kind of Snapchat we had outside, I realized the importance, because like we were saying, the mental side of the game, I think it can be a little bit neglected. Funny enough, I was talking to my boy about this, and a lot of the things I talk to him about, and like the mental side of the game, I do ask him how often the coaches do the club, and he's like, nah, not too often. So it's funny, you think about like top academies around the country, and they're not really covering this stuff mentally. So maybe when you do become professional, and maybe they wait till they're in the big games playing in front of 40,000 people, whatever, before they start addressing
why
it.
can't they prepare them from before?
Exactly, which is what I think should be happening. And it sounds like that's the gap that Unleash the Players trying to bridge there, isn't it?
I'm trying to make it as preventative measures, but a lot of the boys come to me when something's happened.
Yeah.
So then it's about rebuilding them as a, for example, there's a guy that came to me that was at Leicester, 13 years, 8 years old till 21, dropped in been out for a year, dropped in non-league, where, no support, then what?
Yeah.
Where are you mentally then?
Yeah.
So where can we sort of find this Unleash the Player stuff? So, because we'd like to plug it with the episode when it comes out. So where can we find it? Is it on Instagram?
Yeah. So on Instagram it's Unleash the Player.
Yeah.
And my website as well, www.unleashtheplayer.com. And you'll see the kind of work.
No, we will plug that.
I want to leave you with this quote.
We didn't even have to get there, because we were going to ask
That's
you.
That's what I was going to ask you.
But let's go for it. Let's hear it.
This is why I do what I do. I want to leave you with this quote from a spiritual leader called Guru Dev. And he says that a strong body cannot carry a weak mind, but a strong mind can carry even a weak body.
Wow. Powerful stuff, man. Yeah, that is mic drop.
That's a mic drop.
Powerful,
it starts
powerful
up here
stuff.
and in here. And that's the work that I do with the boys.
I love that. So guys, if you want strong minds to carry any sort of body, Unleash the Player.
Unleash the Player, man.
Unleash the Player. Listen, it was a pleasure.
That was a really, really good episode, man. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Real
Thanks so
insightful
much for
episode.
having me on, guys.
No, thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Well.
All right. Well, one league.
One league.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Myles.